What's up, Kingdom of Rock? This is Matt Gibson. It is April 16th, 2020. We're in the middle of a worldwide pandemic called the COVID-19. What does it have an official name? I don't even know.
You can call it coronavirus or COVID-19. I think both work.
But do we have is there an official global worldwide like name for everything? I don't know. It's a mess. The music industry is getting hammered right now. Complete chaos. And we're all just trying to stay here quarantined and safe and trying to figure out what to do with ourselves. But today I've got a couple awesome guests. One of them you already know, Mr. Tyler Morris. He's filling in for Mike Melinda today. Mike had a situation. Keep him in your prayers, by the way. Mr. Ben Ash from Sam Ash Music. He's the what do you do over there, Ben?
So on my business card it says content marketing manager, but we at Sam Ash believe we're not indebted specifically to that title, because ask anyone in the company, we have a million jobs, wear a million hats. If we're asked to do so much as sweep the floors, post something on the web, fix up guitars. I mean, Sammy still is the guy. My dad, I should say, Sammy Ash, is the chief operating officer, COO, but he still is the guy that when you have a guitar of distinction that you purchase from us, he's one of the two guys that goes in, makes sure when it comes into the office, it looks great. When it goes to the customer, he double checks it and makes sure it looks great for the customer. So in many cases, you'll get a hand-signed letter, like a certificate of authenticity, if you will, from Sammy Ash.
Wow. That's some dedication right there. That's believing in your company.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I like that.
Long story short, we all do pretty much anything we're asked of and are willing to contribute to.
Wow, man, that's cool. I didn't know that about Sam Ash. That's good to know. So you guys, I guess right now, Tyler, we've already had him on, so you kind of shared a little bit about how you had to cancel dates and your release of your CD that's coming out and all that stuff, you know.
Congrats, by the way.
What's that?
Yeah, that's actually comes out tomorrow. So it's
you're gonna do it?
2 hours here. Yeah.
You're gonna go ahead and release it?
Yeah, well, I tried to move it to the label and it was too far along. They said they couldn't do it.
Right.
So yeah, that's what it's kind of I don't know. I don't know if it's a bummer yet. Because I mean I get over 250 pre-orders. And some of them are definitely due to people being stuck in the house and they can't come see a live show or they can't buy the CD there. So I don't really know until this is over if I've sold more CDs in this time or less. So it's going to be an interesting question to investigate later.
So Ben, how are you guys? Well, Tyler, so tomorrow is the release date, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, tomorrow's the release date, and I've been shipping out pre-orders since Tuesday.
Oh, okay, cool.
Now, may I ask, as both a fan of yours and to help plug the album, where can people find this album and or stream it, buy it, all that stuff?
Yeah, so it's the album's called Living in the Shadows, and if you go to my website, www.tylerdmorris.com, I have a store there, and the second item in the store is the pre-order, and I'll also send that over to Matt so he can post that information as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's very I designed the layout myself of my site, and I made it in an intuitive manner so that you just click pre-order, and you know I don't want to. We were talking earlier in the before we started the show about technology, and I don't want to myself. If I'm purchasing a record and I have to go through all these loopholes to click buy, then sometimes I end up backing out. So I try to make the experience as easy as possible for consumers.
Hey, by the way, we've got Mr. Elliot Easton from the Cars watching the broadcast down there. He's like, "Hi guys." Hey Elliot.
Hey Elliot.
Glad to have you.
Yeah, Elliot's a Long Islander like me. He's known my dad for years. He used to shop in our, I think, Huntington store back in the day. And I can't even imagine how hard it must have been being a lefty guitarist back in the day, trying to find guitars to play. But you know what? We always look, some of the greatest guitar players, including Elliot, are lefties. So there's definitely something to be said about that. You got Elliot, you got Kurt Cobain, you got Jimi Hendrix. So he's in good company.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I'm definitely a righty.
Likewise, through and through.
Yeah. Have you ever tried to play left-handed before, Tyler?
I have, because me being an Albert King fan, I try to always, get that kind of sound. He also tuned down his strings differently. I play lefty unsuccessfully. But it's funny because before we got on this chat, I saw something that Elliot actually responded to me on Facebook. And it was something about like someone had a lefty guitar that they found. They said, "Hey, Ellie, if you come over to my house to jam, I have a guitar for you to play." So I was just thinking before we started this, I'm like, man, once we get out of this, I need to buy a lefty guitar. So if Elliot comes over to jam, he'll have something to play.
There you go.
Because
thinking of others.
Yeah. Like you were saying, lefty guitar players always probably feel left out.
And it's not like you don't have enough guitar amps for him to come over and play behind you right now.
Yeah, thankfully those aren't lefty or righty.
By the way, Elliot says your family always stocked lefties, Ben.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I wasn't around back then. I'm not going to age any of us, but I will trust Elliot's word.
Yeah, I think he knows. So let me ask you, Ben, how have you guys been affected by all the changes here in the music industry? Have you guys been selling more guitars, or has it been hard times? What's happening?
Honestly, it is the weirdest thing, like in a good way, because like I've said before, whenever there have been, I say this like you've heard it, but like I've said to someone else before, we've been around since 1924, and that means we went through the Great Depression. Now, just like back then, there was economic strife and many businesses shut down temporarily, if not permanently. And the craziest thing was my great grandfather, I should say at the time, didn't have to close shop, because music's one of those things that it's the lifeblood of some people, that after air and food, for some people, music's third on that list, because it's people need that. It's sustenance to keep themselves going, even just to strum a guitar for a moment, just to have some reason to get up for the day. But in that same respect, I'm seeing that now that, I mean, obviously we were all worried, like, oh, so if we're shutting down stores, are people going to want to shop with us? And the great thing to say is, yes, people are shopping with us. And we thought it would be only things for like guitars and microphones and the stuff you would put in an office or your bedroom or something. But even just recently, we sold overnight, I should say, Stage Pass Yamaha monitors. I don't know why anyone's buying humongous speakers, but I'm not going to stop anybody. I'm guessing they bought them to piss off their neighbors and just blast them. Just be like, you're going to listen to my music if we're going to be quarantined together, or something like that. But yeah, so God bless our team and our warehouses for working so hard to make sure that we get all the product out to our customers. Right now, they are. I personally would love to put them in the group of essential workers. I mean, nothing against. I appreciate all the doctors, all the people working in supermarkets and banks, and where they're risking their lives. But coming from a personal perspective, I really do appreciate all the guys in our distribution centers who are doing the same kind of risk and making sure that these customers who need this lifeblood of music are getting their gear. Because without them, people would just have guitars with missing strings because they didn't buy strings, or they wouldn't have the tools to make sure that their instruments are playing right. And that's what our team is doing. And I should also give credit to the call center for taking the influx of customers and helping them find what they need. So to all the people that are working at Sam Ash Music during this time, thank you from the bottom of my heart so much for keeping this company going during all this.
Yeah, that's good to hear that, I think like you said, music is a big priority for a lot of people. Some people even over air and food,
Oh,
so
absolutely.
I think Tyler might be in that category. He could,
Yeah.
he could eat. I don't think he can eat those Marshalls back there, but
I've seen him eat a fuzz pedal once or twice.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Just put it between two loaves of bread. You're good.
That's right.
But
Little
yeah,
crunchy.
otherwise the company's doing pretty well considering.
So do you guys like, what kind of things do you guys sell other than like musical equipment? Do you do like audio visual stuff and things like web cameras and
So we're definitely getting into that realm of things where it's kind of a slow pace because obviously there are companies, I wouldn't say competitive with us, but that's their bread and butter. Like, for example, B&H is known as a camera store.
right?
They do sell music gear, but it's kind of like the opposite of us. Like, we do sell camera gear in the sense, but that's not our bread and butter. So we kind of complement each other very well. I mean, literally they're across the street from our Manhattan store. So the amount of customers that come into our store after them or vice versa, because especially nowadays with everyone doing a webcam or a USB mic, they can get some of that stuff from us and they can get the rest of the stuff from them. So we are slowly getting into the audiovisual space. We have one of the more popular products right now is the Roll and Go Livecast, which
which came out.
It's brilliant. It just came out. Just going to shout out that we are giving one away on Sam Ash Music's website. So just want to throw that out there if anyone's looking to win one. But it's a fantastic product. And we have other like video switchers and audio switchers. And obviously we've always been into mixers and podcasting gear. So that's a perfect fit for us. Yeah. And obviously nowadays, like anything else, we don't do webcams, but pretty much everything outside of a webcam is selling like hotcakes. We've got USB mics flying out the door, monitors flying out the door, switchers flying out the door.
I love this G-Track Pro. I just got it.
You mean like this guy?
Yeah, that's a great mic. And what's really cool is you can plug in a 1/4-inch cable here in the back and blend it. So what I've been doing is I have a Boss GT1 guitar pedal, and it has an aux in, and so I can control a backing track with my phone and run the entire rig right into the mic here and blend it with the microphone and do like live streaming music with it. It's kind of handy.
I didn't even think to do that. Like, I've been using it obviously as a microphone, but I never thought to take my pedal board and go in direct because it works like an interface.
Yeah, totally.
So, but yeah, I love this thing. Obviously, it comes off a little biased, but I genuinely love the Samson G-Track Pro. It's a fantastic USB mic if people are looking for a sturdy, affordable USB mic.
And if you need to really get on the microphone and sound like a professional broadcaster, you can do
like
that.
You're on NPR.
Right.
This is An American Life, or
what? I don't know. Exactly. I'm not going to do my Ira Glass impression. I've got other impressions, but Ira Glass is not one of them.
Hey, Mark London. How's it going? Bob Gardner. Well, Elliot, we've already talked to. Guile Morris, Jim Carty. Everybody on Twitter, retweet this.
Yeah.
Tell everyone we're live right now.
One thing.
Go ahead.
The one thing I don't think it's possible to do. I was on the phone with Johnny A today because he was trying to set up his interface, and I saw someone. I thought they were live streaming a jam with 3 people, and I mean he was like, "No, that must be pre-recorded."
Yeah,
there's
a new one though. Yeah.
However, I have found one site whose name is escaping me, but there is a website that says they can do that. The only thing is they insist you go through your router directly with an Ethernet port.
Yeah, it's called Jam something.
Yes.
We
Jam Kazam or something like that.
Jam Kazam, yeah, and they give you a little piece of hardware that kind of lets you adjust the latency so that you can kind of get in the ballpark. It's not perfect, but my friend Kim uses it to rehearse with their band. But it's it's pretty cool though, for sure.
Yeah, especially if you're like me. I've been itching to do a jam. I haven't. It's funny. My friends would be like, "Hey, you want to jam tonight?" I'm like, "It's a little last minute. I got dinner plans," and now I'm like, "Shucks, I should have done something at that point." But look, hindsight's 2020. We wish we could have done a lot of things before the coronavirus, but I think after this is all settled down to some degree, whenever that is, whether it's a month from now, a year from now, what have you, I think we're all going to take advantage of, oh, someone's going out for a picnic, I'm going to go to that picnic, or a party or a concert. No one's going to miss anything that happens outside because they're genuinely going to be afraid it'll be the last time they may be able to take on an event like that.
Right. Well, and here in LA, I'm in LA. Tyler, you're in Boston, right?
Yep.
And Ben, where are you at?
Long Island, New York.
Long Island. Okay. So like here in LA, the mayor just said that don't plan on having any events anytime soon, and until we get some type of not an immunization. What's the other one called? Vaccination. Yeah, a vaccine for it. And that's like 12 to 18 months in the works potentially. So that could like kill the whole live music scene, at least in LA and major cities for sure.
Well, that's why a lot of people are starting to get, I mean, you've seen it. Everyone's doing the live stream concerts, but obviously there's a disconnect. It's like having a conversation with someone in person as opposed to doing FaceTime.
Yeah. 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 But there is a new app out too. It's called Acapella.
Oh yeah. I've used that before.
And what you can do is you can kind of jam with yourself. So like you're like the first window and you do your part, and then you record with it the second part and the third part. And so and then it kind of makes it into a video collage that looks like you're kind of playing all the parts and everything. It's kind of cool.
My friend uses it all the time to do stuff on it. And it's fun, but just be warned, it's not free. At least it once was. Yeah. I think you have to pay a subscription of like $5 a month, but if you use it all the time, it's worth it.
Yeah. So Kellyanne Manning wants me to say, you're listening to Matt in the evening. Okay. Anyway. So, all right.
Kelly.
Well, back to the topic that we want to talk about today, because all that other stuff is sad. Well, actually, it's good that people are working for sure. But as far as marketing goes, Ben, so you've been doing marketing for a while for a major company,
Absolutely.
Like right now, all these musicians are out there and they're like, man, I gotta get in front of some people. I'm stuck here at the house, and I don't really know. There's so much information on the web telling me how to do this and do that, and I don't even know where to start other than just put a post on Facebook. Like what do people? What's a good starting point for somebody that's trying to get known in front of more people?
Good question. So obviously there's a million places to do things. If you're lucky and you just happen to have a large audience already, post to wherever you will. I think the key with anything though, especially in these times, is if you want to be seen, it's good I first would recommend creating a group of like-minded people so that you can each promote each other. So it could be a group of 5 to 10 people. You can even make a Facebook group. And that way, for example, if I had a group of 9 other people with me and I go on a live stream, they'll all go, hey, my friend Ben's doing a live stream. And then if any of them did the same thing, I'd be courteous enough to share their posts as well. So I think camaraderie in these times is very key, because unfortunately a lot of people are like, okay, he's doing a podcast or he's doing a live stream or he's doing this. And so it's just a bunch of us shouting in an echo chamber and saying, listen to me, I'm here, I'm doing this thing. But it's very easy to get lost in that, especially if you don't have a powerful organic reach, because even I'm guilty of it. Like I could post, like if I'm doing a live stream, because that's what I do when I'm not working, is I play guitar and stream for fun.
Right.
And it's hard to get people to just tune in sometimes, because one, if there's 30 other people doing a live stream, they have to choose between those 30. And if Ariana Grande or Eddie Van Halen or whomever decides they want to live stream, they're not watching me. They're going to watch that first.
Yeah, and you get to get them to stay there too. Like if you walk up and get up from your seat or something, 10 people may leave. Easily.
It's happened to me. Even if I like break a string, they're like, oh, he broke a string, he's done. And I'll be like, no, I've got an extra guitar.
Or if the conversation gets boring.
Right.
Like at any point, for any reason, people's attention spans are definitely kind of like on the edge,
So from my personal experience, what I've learned is working with other people to promote each other, whatever it is, whether it's doing a live stream or promoting an album or whatever. Like if my friends have something happening, I usually will not only tune in to see it, but I will share and tell my other friends, oh my God, this guy's a great guitar player. She's amazing, a vocalist, whatever, what have you. However, in lieu of that, you also have to be you also have to have something entertaining. One, you should look good. Like that always helps. Not like you have to look like Brad Pitt, but like dress up or dress wild. One of the spectrums. You either have to look incredibly good, like you took care of yourself,
kind of like me, right?
Exactly, no question. I of course. And then the other extreme, right? And the other extreme is to do something that is wild, and that people are like, "Why are they wearing this?" And by that time, they've already tuned in to see what you're about. Obviously, having a prepared set list always helps instead of like, unless you're the type of guy that's, I take requests, and if someone throws something out there, you're ready to go. I've learned that loop station stuff is very cool. People like to see the build of it, and if you could do something organic and unique, that's great. But all in all, it's like for performing live, if you are going after the sold out show, like say someone's opening for you and they brought all their friends and family, you need a reason for them to stay. So you would be like, okay, I'm gonna make sure I play this cover that everybody likes, and I'm gonna do this really cool part that shows off my music chops. And because again, you're competing with everybody else in this landscape. We're talking about thousands of musicians at the same time showcasing what they've got. Now, obviously, Chris Martin has been doing these live streams, and Chris Martin, I should say, from Coldplay, Ben Gibbard from Death Cab did a bunch of them, and they're just well-established musicians, so they could play Rubber Ducky from Sesame Street and people tune in.
Oh yeah.
But the point is, you want something that makes people, one, tune in because you're playing something well, two, because you're playing something they like, so you have to know your audience, and most of all, you have to be an entertaining persona. Like if you're just playing, you're like, hey, I got another song, here it is. All right. And then this is you got to match the vibe with the music you're playing.
Right. For
like
sure.
Me, for instance, to get people tuned in, I've got songs for days, but sometimes I'll throw in a song from SpongeBob, or I'll throw in a song that's like a popular meme. I try to avoid Rickrolling unless the audience genuinely likes Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley, because I have that song in my Rolodex of songs, but I can definitely make people think that I'm trying to like troll them or something. So and I mean, this is all just if you're live streaming, but there are tons of places to do this now. Obviously Facebook Live is the most popular because everyone and their mom is on it. But I've actually personally learned, and maybe I'm giving a quote unquote industry secret, but Reddit has been a very good place to promote yourself in all respects. If you dive down the subreddit thing where you just see all the different subreddits you can apply to, so to speak. Like, for example, there's one I like called Cover Songs, where you could post a cover song there and people will see it. And if they like it, they'll upvote. And if not, it'll just be there for eternity. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's if you've already got pre-recorded stuff. But one thing they're doing now, which is interesting, is they have a live streaming platform. And the one that a lot of people are using as far as musicians is r/talent show. Mm-hmm. And I've done it a few times. And when I've gotten maybe 5 people on Facebook, or maybe like 30, maybe on Periscope at one point in time, Reddit is overflowing with people looking for entertainment. And so I've seen, there was a guitar player, very good guitar player, who had, I think at one point, 15,000 people watching him, which is insane that many people can watch. So Reddit, if you are willing to do the work, while there are not so great places on Reddit, and I won't point them out, Reddit has a lot of opportunities for you. Yeah, there it is. Yep. Though you do have to do it on a smartphone as far as streaming, because I don't think you can do it on a desktop, but I could be wrong. And so, but Reddit has first of all, it's a great resource of information. Like our guitar is just people talking about guitars, what they've bought, whatnot. But I digress. The point is, Reddit's a great place to stream. Facebook is still, if you have people willing to share. Periscope's okay. It depends on the time of day you do it and who your audience is, but you can do pretty well, especially if you use the right hashtags. But this is a learning experience for everybody as far as where the best places are.
You know, one thing that's a really good idea is what we're doing right now. So let's just say I'm using a program called StreamYard, and this is like $50 a month, but you can stream to all those Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch, and LinkedIn. You can up 5 at a time, 5 different platforms.
Nuts.
And it's $50 a month, but you can have 6 people in here. So what you could do is you could get 6 bands, 6 musicians, all in the same live stream, take turns doing songs, and invite all of your fans and with all of your social media to participate.
That's a great idea.
It's like a mini music festival for musicians. So like, for example, Kingdom of Rock, if you're out there and you've got a buddy that's got like 5,000 followers for their band, and your band's got 5,000 followers, and you do that times 6, that's 30,000 followers that you all could invite to kind of cross-pollinate each other. And you know, like we're doing it right now. Like Ben shared to Sam Ash's website, and Ben's getting marketing done here. He's talking about his company. Tyler's got an album that he's getting ready to release. I've got a show that I'm trying to grow, and I got my my album Crimson Symphony I'm working on. You know, I've got my guitars back here from ESP Guitars. You know, like I'm endorsed by that company, or I endorse that company. And so it's like everybody is kind of like helping each other out, you know, and to kind of talk about their stuff and bring fans in and bring listeners and you know, so I think all of these live stream platforms, when you can get multiple people involved, are super powerful for building your fan bases and cross-pollinating.
Because organic reach, like just trying to do it on your own and having an audience build, takes a very, very long time, and it's a lot of dedication. I mean, any Twitch streamer or YouTube streamer or Facebook streamer, if they did it from the beginning, it probably took them months. And for some people right now, you can't afford to take months if you literally need an income.
Right.
But what I am in a weird way hoping for is that with the lack of live music, that hopefully, and big fat hopefully, people will turn to purchasing music again. I know live, you can stream everything on Spotify, but I have a record collection, and I think there's the whole ritual and the tactile nature of doing an activity that's still fun and makes a more memorable experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember being in a record store, picking up an album, looking at the jacket, putting it in a very specific CD player in a very specific part of my room at a very specific volume, and walking around the room a certain way. Like I can see all that in my head. But Spotify doesn't offer that story, if you will. Like nobody's going to be in the future and be like, I remember when I listened to the new They Might Be Giants album and I clicked play on my computer. Like that's such a boring story. Nobody wants that. And even I sometimes forget when I listen to an album on Spotify because it's all the same process. And this also applies to any medium, but I think for music, we need to encourage everybody to hopefully purchase music as far as CDs, cassettes, records. I know this sounds like we're talking in a 1990 radio show, but I'm saying this is still all relevant media now, that you can actually buy a cassette of your favorite band. And
well, it's kind of like, but okay, so what would you say to someone that says, man, you know, I agree with you, but I just don't have time to go lay down in a beanbag and open up a vinyl and listen to a record and read through all the credits and this and that. And I just want to listen to music when I'm running or whatever. Like, what would you say to somebody like that?
Okay, fair enough. So 2 points to that. One, not if this was like 2 months ago, I'd say, you know what, fair point. Yeah, we're allowed outside and we have multiple options. But right now with everybody inside, we all have time to sit on a beanbag and do pretty much anything, especially listening to music. But if you're looking to take your music on the road, What I still do is I have a Spotify account. I do, because personally I like the buffet aspect of just hearing music before I commit, because once upon a time there'd be 5 new albums that came out. Now it's like 20,000 new albums every week. So it's hard to hear everything, but if I genuinely love an album by an artist, I will buy the album. I will buy it, whether it's a CD or a record, or I buy the MP3s, because I understand as a musician that, yes, it's nice to know that musicians just wake up and need to make music, but a nice motivator can be money. And musicians like to know that all the work and effort they put into their craft is, for them, a job. So they'd like to see some kind of feedback. Obviously, there's the joke that, oh, you're getting exposure, we'll pay you an exposure. But that doesn't put a roof over. Exposure never put roofs on our heads.
Right.
It never put food on the table. And here's the thing. Say you are buying or you're listening to it on Spotify and you just swear by it. At least buy a band shirt. At least buy a keychain or a magnet or a poster. Posters are great.
You know, I had a really I'm just kind of getting into some of these new platforms just because, you know, you just can't keep up with everything, you know. But my friend gave me an album on Bandcamp to listen to for free. She gave me the link to it. And so I went to Bandcamp and I listened to the album and I really liked it. So I listened to it again. About 3/4 of the way through it, it says, all right, it's time to open up your wallet. And I was like, at first I was like, huh, I thought this was free. And then I was like, yeah, but it was worth it. And
Right.
and I could have said, nah, that's okay. But I didn't want to. I had $20, so I just threw $20 at the record and probably made that person's day and felt good about myself in doing it. And I was kind of like, I wasn't annoyed that Bandcamp nagged me and said, hey, you should give him $20. But I will say that was a good experience. I think some platforms do kind of, like, I was impressed by the sales of that, you know?
Yeah, and that's all we can do right now is support each other in whatever our musical endeavors are, because we may see us going in some ways back to maybe no, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say the music industry is changing, but in a weird way, it's somewhat becoming retro as far as having to support the artist directly. But look, you can't tune into every live stream at the same time. We get that. But in a sense, just know that a lot of, I can't throw myself in the same camp. I'm not a working musician, but I am a musician. But there are working musicians out there, and they need this to keep going. It's this funny thing that people always discount artists, like how they cut music funding and things like that in schools, which is abysmal. But the irony is this stuff is what a lot of people take for granted. Like, music's the thing that you dance to as your first song at your wedding. It's the music that keeps your children entertained. It's music that just puts you in a good mood or a bad mood, or inspires you to get into a band, or inspires you to play music. And if you don't support these artists, the pool's going to get smaller of musicians to choose from, which nobody wants. We want tons of music out there. And I'm grateful that there are things like GarageBand that's for free with anyone who has a laptop, and other ways that you can make music for free. But to convince people to continue making music for free, you should finance those careers, because it is a career for these people. And it's this kind of little note that shows someone cares enough to invest in me. And that's a big deal for people.
Do you think that, as with all the advancements in AI and everything, do you think there's going to be a time where the human musician is going to be obsolete?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because it's the same reason why there are people who buy instruments in a machine assembly line and people who buy boutique guitars that are handmade. We didn't all just suddenly go, you know what? Machines can make my guitar. I don't need to buy one from this luthier down the street. But there are people who buy from that luthier because they understand there's specific care, there's specific nuances and there's rare aspects to that instrument that a machine ironically can't duplicate because it's too perfect. And it's the same case with music, is that AI, yeah, maybe AI can create a pop hit, sure, but there's something cool about knowing how it was made. And some of the best music that has ever existed was made with it wasn't on purpose. Like there's the famous story about I Can't Get No Satisfaction. And that was a trumpet part, quote unquote, the riff that Keith Richards just set up on a guitar pedal. He just was like, okay, this sounds like trumpet, so we're just going to record it like this. And they kept it because by accident, they liked that. And I mean, you can go all over the web and look up accidents in music, and many cases they're the most famous songs ever. I remember, I think it was a Bonnie Raitt song that the keyboard player played the wrong chord and it fit, but it was not the intended chord. And it was like this unresolved chord at the end that works so well. I think it was Bonnie Raitt. But that's what music is. Music is, we come up with instruments on accident. We've come up with songs on accident, and that gives it this unique quality.
That human element almost.
We need the human element. That's what and humans also understand and can sense genuine. The idea that these choices were on purpose. Not, oh, I threw this algorithm into a computer, threw some wood on a table, and it got. And look, nothing wrong with those things.
Right.
If you like that AI thing, or you like a machine, look, most of my instruments are made by machines, and I love them because I put some character into it as well.
Yeah, you're the human element in that formula.
Exactly. And I think that's the same that applies to music, is that, look, some people can create loops and then they sing on top of it. So there's that marriage of AI and humans that's interesting as well. And I think that's cool too. But I don't think AI is going to ever erase humans from the music making scene. So
Well,
I feel confident.
I hope you're right about that.
Let's put it this way. If that happens, it'll be because the robots have taken over. It'll be hundreds of years from now, and robots will be listening to robot music. So I'll be off this plane.
That's right. That's right. That's somebody else's problem to solve, right?
Exactly.
So Tyler, what do you think as far as the marketing stuff? What do you do to, like, you're getting ready to release an album?
Mm.
What kind of things are you doing to let people know about it?
Well, I mean, for myself, some that I really miss is that I have a CD release party. I had one scheduled for April 24th. Obviously won't happen. And May 23rd, I don't think that will happen, although I spoke to the club owner today and he still wants to not postpone it yet. But, there's a 0% chance that is going to happen. And basically what I miss is this connection where after the show and in the intermission, I can interact with fans. I can sign, personalize the records and talk to them. So what I did from a marketing standpoint is I said, this whole thing with the pre-order we were talking about earlier, I've actually never done that. I usually go through Amazon and I say, if you want some personalized, come to a show and I can talk to you for hours, after a show.
Mm-hmm.
And since we can't do that, I'm offering the same thing. I'll personalize the CD however, and you can ask me anything you want over email. But I really want people to get to know me and to be able to ask their questions. So the price of the CD on my pre-order it's lower than any other source. The cheapest you can get for including this signature is on my website. And I mean, that's just because I want the people to feel this personal connection, and I want them to know that I'm still here and that my music, I'm trying to do the best I can to help uplift your spirits, you guys, the fans, the people purchasing. So, I mean, that's how I guess I've changed my perspective in the last month of marketing that. Then there's, you mentioned you're working with ESP. I've been working with Gibson and Marshall in the last few weeks They had me do some videos for them. Gibson had me just do some open-ended, whereas Marshall said, hey, we want to, while people are around and they have this extra time and they're kind of bored in their free time, we want them to learn some guitar. So can you teach some guitar lessons? So I think in a week or so on Marshall's page, they're going to premiere. I did right here with all these Marshalls back here. I just taught some riffs, and I taught stuff that everyone can learn. You know, I'm just trying to uplift spirits, keep people going. And it's, you know, like I said, for me, it's like not so much about the profit. It's more about that you feel that I'm a person and I'm not this AI robot talking to you,
right?
Like Amazon.
Right. By the way, you can tell Marshall, I have a wall back here too. So if they want to put a stack of those there, and I can teach them guitar lessons, I have no problem.
Matt Gibson needs some new wallpaper. He needs that 3D Marshall wallpaper.
That's right.
They actually did. I did the Van Halen show, and I do this frequently. And they helped me out because I wanted. I don't want to carry the amps because, you know, I'm not going to use them. It's just for the aesthetic. So they built me a few of these dummy cabs that are completely weightless. Nice. So yeah, those are kind of fun.
See, I just need that for my house. Like, I'm fine. I know, Matt, you need them with the electronics inside, but I'm cool with some dummy cabinets that I could just set a drink on or something just so it looks good in the back. Because right now, this is a mess.
I just need one with the electronics. I'm cool with dummy cabinets. That'd be cool.
Yeah, why not?
So, okay. So as far as what if I just thought of an idea, Tyler, when you were talking, what if you did like a Zoom for your album release and invited all of your, you know, just everyone to come meet you in the Zoom? Or what you could do is you could release the album and then do a Zoom for each song of the album once a week. So like week 1 on Saturdays, you're going to just play the song in the Zoom or whatever, get it, you know, set up so it sounds good. And then you can just kind of do a commentary, you know, about the song and what you were thinking about it, and stuff.
Invite the other musicians that were on the record and talk about the songwriting and the band process.
Yeah, get them all like in this little window thing here. Yeah, all the people.
Yeah, I did forget to mention. I'm actually there's one more thing I'm doing tomorrow. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I pre-recorded a show solo using, like, I did some double neck stuff with the looper, and then I played just solo singing some of the songs. And that's that's gonna go live at 9 tomorrow. So that's that takes care of the musical aspect, and I'll be in. Since I'm not playing live, but it's being premiered live, I can be in the comments interacting with people. But I really like that Zoom idea. So, I mean, how would you I use Zoom for classes. So there's a way to, I know we do our own Zoom sessions on Sundays and things privately, but so is there a way that you can have like an open Zoom session you can post on Facebook and it will let you
can broadcast it?
Well, I mean, look, people are watching this right now.
Yeah.
So you just have to have it live.
This is StreamYard. So this is like $50 a month, but you're paying for the ability to have 6 people at once and simulcast to all the platforms, which normally there's another program called Restream that is about $50 a month to do that. Actually, it's a little bit more than that. So it'll like simulcast to other platforms. But Zoom will, the free version of Zoom, it limits your meeting to 40 minutes. But for $15, you can have an unlimited meeting time. It's 24-hour cap meeting time, and you can live stream it to Facebook or YouTube. So you can.
I think I might have the full version because I take I think I mentioned I take grad classes.
Yeah.
And we have like 3-hour classes. So I wonder if I've just been going on Zoom and creating meetings and myself. So I probably have the ability to already do the, unlimited version.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
I can
didn't
help
realize
you do that. And we,
awesome.
maybe we'll maybe we'll do a little tutorial on it and show other people how to do it, you know, because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that don't know how to do it as well. So, but it's really easy. I mean, you go to Zoom, you click on the create new meeting, and then it just pulls you in there, and then you invite people. And so what you would do is you take the guest invite link, and you just put it on social media or send it to your email list of all the people that have bought your album or whatever. And they click on that link, they'll have to download Zoom, and it turns into so you're in the room and you'll see a little like waiting room area. And so you have to approve people. So if you kick somebody out and they come back, you don't have to let them back in. So that's, if you get, the one thing about general public is you really don't know what you're going to get. And sometimes you'll get people that don't know how to behave.
Oh, we've done some Facebook live streams in the past with Sam Ash Music, and yeah, we've had a few of those guys.
Yeah. So you gotta cut them out, you know. So it's nice to have somebody that can help you with that too, if you're trying to talk to people.
We had a class thing that we had this guy who was a hacker came and started swearing and insulting people, and this was a meeting with the dean, who's someone it was our private research session that I'm working on an audio project with her, and in Zoom, and we had to get IT services involved, and it's crazy that people can do that. You know, this was not a public meeting; it was something over email. So, I mean, if you post it on Facebook, that's the other thing. You want to make sure that you can boot people out, because there's going to be some spammers getting in. Just
a good old right click and hide, or right click and ban if that's an option. I haven't done it in a minute, so I don't know if they've updated the live streaming platform.
Somebody asked a question. Stephen Paul, he said, as an artist, don't you think this worldwide event has exposed you to a new audience through social media? I know I've experienced so many new artists in my surfing of social media. What would you say about that, Tyler?
By the way, so Steve is a friend of mine. He's Les Paul's grandson.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, wow.
His dad was
super
Rusty.
Cool.
So, yeah. And,
wow,
you know, he's also a killer chef, too. But yeah, no, I do think it's exposed me somewhat to a new audience. There's there's another person here that was on the last live stream I did with you, Matt, Lynn, who she's come to some of my shows, but I really didn't get a chat with her and get to know her until I started doing these live streams. So there's quite a few people that I don't know if I made new fans on my live streams, but I've gone to connect more with fans that have I just didn't know were there. And, you know, I am happy for that. And I would like to, you know, it's hard because sometimes I go on my personal page, and if you're not a friend of mine, you probably don't see it. And then the way Facebook pages, their algorithms work, it's just, they, you know, 1% or whatever of your following sees it. So it's really hard to make new audiences.
Check it out though. There's one thing that you can control about Facebook. If somebody comments, you can carry on a conversation and they'll get notified every single time that you do. So make sure if you do have people comment on your posts that you ask them engaging questions. Don't just be like, thanks, right? Get to know those people. Because you would be surprised if you take the time to get to know your fans. Like just for example, I didn't know that was Les Paul's grandson. I mean, that's like, I would have never known that had I not gone. Like if I were to go back later and said, hey bro, thanks for commenting during the live stream. Can I check out your music sometime? And then he sends me his music and I go look him up on the internet, and maybe I might put 2 and 2 together and be like, oh wow, that's super cool. You know? But like, you don't know until you ask. So make sure that you don't look at it like you're a rock star, like, oh yeah, thanks, and then just go on. Ask questions about those people. Just like you, if you went to your favorite musician's page and you started and you left them a comment telling them how great they were, how would you feel if they said, hey, how you been doing, bro? Are you doing okay with this COVID-19 virus? You know, you've been playing any music, whatever, you know, it's kind of a cool feeling to have a musician talk to you like that, where you've, you know, reached out to them, you know, so be sure you do that kind of thing.
Well, people just love to be noticed on social. Like if they just comment, they say hi to us in Brazil, or when you come into Brazil, or like, I'm just joking about those. But what I mean to say is that there are people who are just like, oh my God, they saw my comment. What? And we're not talking about rock stars. This could just be some influencer who's showing you how to cook pasta on YouTube. And you would say, oh my God, I love marinara sauce. And then someone will read that comment and be like, you like marinara sauce? What's your favorite brand? And then that's how you get that dialogue going.
Yeah. Like Roddy Chong was really good about that from TSO. He's been on the show. And whenever he does a live stream, he's kind of taught me to do this. You just like, oh, hey, and then we got Lynn Alden out there and Guy Morris and Frank Bowman, you know, thanks for tuning in, guys. You know, like you got to talk to everybody, because it's like people are people. They're just like you, man. They don't want to just go somewhere and nobody pays attention to them. You don't want to go to a party.
Live. Like when you're live and you're performing, isn't it cool when you're in the audience and the guitar player goes, "Yo, what's up?"
You're the man, bro.
Right. We're doing the electronic version of that. And that's very compelling to an audience, is to know that they're being seen, that they're not just a spectator.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're paying attention to the comments, people. And by the way, if you guys have any questions for Ben or Tyler, this is a good time to put them in the comments.
Try me. Ask me almost anything, and I'll try to answer them.
Anything. Ben is like a question answering genius, so you should ask him anything.
I'll try to be brutally honest, and I'll try to be as forthcoming as possible.
All right. So Ben, let me ask you this. What would you say is the #1 mistake that musicians make when they try to market themselves?
That's an interesting question, because I never think of it on the negative necessarily. I think repetition is key. I think even I'm guilty of it. If you don't do something, like if you're a live streamer, it's always good to have a schedule. It really is. I just do it for fun. But if this is something you take seriously, it should be, hey guys, every night this week, I'm going to be live at 8 p.m. Eastern, and I'm going to be doing this, that, and the other thing. Or, hey guys, this is what's going to happen in my live stream. I mean, gamers do this all the time. You go onto a Twitch stream and they'll say, I'm going live every Tuesday and Thursday at this time, and I'm playing this game. It's very basic and very simple, but it's the same process with musicians. People want to know, okay, when's he going to be on? Oh, he performs once or twice a week, and he performs at this time. And maybe on Tuesday he does acoustic covers, and on Thursday he shows his new album. So if you give people, just like anything, a reason to tune in, not just, well, is it worth stopping all of my plans for this? Or because you wouldn't say, hey, you want to hang out to someone, and then they'd be like, cool, what do you want to do? It's like, I don't know. And it's like, okay, where? I don't know. You have to have a plan. It gives people a purpose to, okay, well, if they're telling me that they're celebrating their birthday, well, then I'm going to pause on this other thing. But if they just want to hang out, well, that's not as important as this other thing. And I'm not trying to sound crappy by saying that, but it's the same thing with musicians. You want to be able to say, okay, so this artist is going to be doing acoustic covers at this time. Well, if I miss it this Tuesday, maybe I'll catch it next Tuesday. And having that schedule and something that your audience can depend on makes it so that way, one, you don't have to cross your fingers and hope people will start tuning in, that you're hoping at that time, 8 o'clock sharp. Oh my God, I have 30 people already tuned in waiting to see what I have to do. So I think that might be the biggest mistake. But as far as an overall thing, that no matter what genre you play or whatever instrument you play, I think it applies to everybody, is to give something like, it's the same thing with concert dates. You don't just be told, oh, I'm going to be performing tonight at Irving Plaza. Then yeah, if you're a huge artist, people will rush down, but you kind of give them months notice or weeks notice. Weird analogy, but bear with me on this. So I think that's very important, is to make sure you have, again, something that people can look forward to, whether it's the set list, whether it's the time, whether it's the day, whatever it is. That's completely up to you.
And I will say this, and I've said this a few episodes back, but my daughter one time was talking about when she was younger. She's like, "Dad, is Beyonce in the Illuminati?" And I'm like, what? She's like, "Yeah, I was reading this article. What's the Illuminati, Dad?" I was like, "Well, it's some people think there's a bunch of people that are ruling the entire world secretly with their wealth and power and money and everything. And maybe there's some truth to that, but I think what that's really more about is that you just spent 30 minutes thinking about Beyonce. And now that you headspace is really important. It's valuable information. It's valuable territory to occupy, right? So like if you're trying to get somebody to buy your music and they don't think about you, they're probably not going to buy your music. They're not going to listen to your music. It's like you're trying to date somebody that doesn't know about you and doesn't think about you and know you exist, right? So the more repetition, the more reasons that you can give people, like maybe Tyler, you should tell I could start telling everyone you're in the Illuminati, and we can get like people to think, oh man, that Tyler Morris guy is ruling the world, man.
Now, how are we not sure that he isn't already in the Illuminati and he's just been playing us this whole time?
I mean, he does got a lot of swag on today.
I know.
It's
only people
like,
in the Illuminati can have that many Marshall amps, mini Marshalls.
Right.
That's the only explanation is the Illuminati.
Yeah, definitely.
Last night I was doing an interview last night on Music Gear Network, and I was on my phone, so I brought the phone around because on the other end of this space, I have like a wall of full-size Marshalls too. So I brought people around. So the Marshalls are getting a lot of popularity, and the company likes it. But everything behind me is all like, these are the Lead 12s, which are actually English made, except for that I have a Zach Wild at the end.
Nice.
And these things were like $100 at yard sales and Reverb, Craigslist.
I always forget to check that.
Did you say you have Zach Wild at the end?
I have the Zach Wild.
Like lives at your house now?
He's just been very quiet during this whole broadcast.
We need to get Zach on the show.
Oh, he's a ride. I had the pleasure to meet him.
He like goes up to you and gives you a big hug, and he always wears that Viking hat with the furry horns.
He's living his best life. He really is.
Well, all right, guys. So we're getting at the top of the hour now, and we just wanted to thank everybody for being on the show. And Tyler and I wanted to thank Ben for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you guys. This was a blast.
I wanted to thank Tyler for introducing me to Ben and setting this up.
Thanks, Tyler.
Yep. And we want to thank Sam Ash for working really hard to keep musicians stocked with their favorite instruments and amplifiers and electronics and things that they need to make music. So thank you guys for
absolutely,
and all the employees that have been working during this COVID crisis and difficult times. And be sure to tell the Sam Ash family that we do appreciate that as well.
Absolutely.
And Tyler, did you have any last words here? We're going to do a little around the horn here.
Yeah. Looking at these comments, I did want to give a shout out to him. I don't know if he's still in the chat or not. My guitar teacher is here. My original guitar teacher, Nick Vecchio.
Oh, nice.
And if he didn't teach me how to play like Jimmy Page riffs, then I wouldn't be standing here. So
nice.
I want to give a shout out to him. It looks like Lynn asked a question about vintage guitar. Yeah, I'm on my pedal company has one of like the on the cover of the vintage guitars where they have the not the photo, but where they have the headlines. My pedal company is actually one of those this month. And that's something that they came to me with. And it happened to work out where my album was in there and my pedal company was in there. And then I got a full page where it's a cross promotion of both. And that's she wanted to know if that's something that first I think she wanted to know if like they came to me or so they came to me, and if she wanted to know if they put in, did I, hey, write this and stuff. And no, that's not actually how it works. It's actually a very scary process, because they kind of they'll be like, send in your album or send your pedal, and then all you hear is, we have done a review of it and it's printed.
Oh,
And
no.
it's like, oh, well, can I
That's
see the
scary.
review? Can I see if it's like, bad, if it's good? And they're like, no. Or they're like, you can see the review, but even if it's good, then we're gonna take it out, kind of thing, because they don't want it's journalistic. If Mike Melendo was here, he'd probably talk about like its journalistic integrity. So I have to respect that. And fortunately, every time they've done it, they've been nice to me. The pedal one got a great review this time, and I was very scared, because with electronics, like Elliot was on here earlier. I made him a pedal, and he tried it out, and there was some inherent noise in the studio. So he's like, "Oh, the pedal's not working." So he ships it back to me. I'm like, "Hey, this is working, 100% for me." So I shipped it back to him, and it turned out it was his studio. So I'm always afraid, is the reviewer going to get this and have that same problem?
Yeah.
And
Welcome to every single manufacturer in the music industry. Everyone at NAMM, every time they send us a pedal to review, I mean, I'm sure, God forbid, someone sent something to Sam Ash Music and been like, hey, you should try out our guitar or bass or amp. And we're like, this isn't working right. And we usually give them the benefit of the doubt, but we're nice. I can't speak on behalf of every other dealer.
One last thing too. My dad just notified me. One of my friends, Matt Finkelstein, he's watching. He's actually in the hospital with Corona now.
Sorry to hear that.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So we were talking about that
Max.
earlier, and yeah, he's been a big supporter of music industry. His kids, great musicians that I played with in the past. And they're awesome. So I want to just send him best wishes, and far he's doing fine. Obviously, he's texting us right now and stuff. So
yeah, that's good to hear. Well, Ben.
Yep.
Last words. Take us home, bro.
All right. I'll keep it simple. If you want to follow me and my random exploits, basically, if you search Benjamin Ash, it's Benjamin Ash with an extra M. I pretty much search that on any social media platform. I'm bound to be there in some capacity, if at all. Other than that, obviously, I'm going to promote Sam Ash Music. If you're looking for music gear, we're a great resource. We also have a great call center of very knowledgeable experts right now who are able to take your calls, chat with you if you're not into the phone call thing. And we've got 4 distribution centers open right now, so there's a very good chance you'll get your gear, if not in a day or 2 days. 2 days has been so far the average where we can get it minimum. But obviously, if we're overstocked with or have few staff because of the situation, you may get it in 3 or 4 days. God forbid. But long story short, if you're looking for a place to shop music gear, I highly recommend you check us out. And I hope
SamAsh.com.
Simple. SamAsh.com, just as you think it was spelled. And I'm sending, again, thank you to everybody at Sam Ash Music who's still working and tirelessly working to help keep the company going. And I'm sending my best to all of the hospital workers, all of the doctors, and all of the supermarket people, and everybody else who is an essential worker right now. Thank you for what you're doing, and keep fighting the good fight. And I know we're all going to come out of this alive in some respect, where we're going to come out and we will have braved this, and we're probably going to be a new normal in the future, as they keep saying. But I think I'm looking forward to it, because I think there's some really great people out there keeping this country going and the world.
And to the guy that bought the really loud floor monitors from Sam Ash, I just want to tell you that I want if you leave us a comment on here and tell us who you are, we're going to try to get out to your show, because I know you're gonna rock it, bro.
Seriously, I'm very curious what the use is for that. But yeah, it's been a
think
blast.
they
I'm
need
glad
this
to be a part of this. Yeah, that too. But yeah,
And they
thank you
need
guys
a
again
fuzz
for having me
box in
on.
front of that.
And I will also say every Sunday at 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., we do have a community meetup for Kingdom of Rock community. And it's just musicians, lovers of music. We all just try to get together and talk and hang out. And I know Ben and Tyler have been to a couple of them, and really good turnout, cool people, just making friends. And, we're all here in this together, and it can get a little lonely sometimes. So check us out. You got to be a member of the Kingdom of Rock Backstage Pass Facebook community, or just send me a message and I'll just send you an invite. So Kingdom of Rock out. Thank you, Tyler Morris, Ben Ash, and the Sam Ash family. Have a good one.
Thanks, guys. You too.